you could do it all over, what would you change?
Oh, wow. A lot of things. Um, how many times has any one of us said that, if I knew now what I knew then, or I mean, if I knew what I know now, if I knew it back then, you know, my gosh, if I had the wisdom that I have today, or the think that I have today, back when I was in high school or college, I would have, been the first kid on my block to rule the world. So, but I don't, I don't necessarily have any regrets. I think, that I had some struggles in life that could have been easier. I was pushed ahead a couple grades in school, and that was fun and dandy and fun up to a point. Something to brag about, but it handicapped me socially terribly. Because I didn't turn 16 till I was into my senior year in high school, and when I started my senior year in high school, I was still 15 years old. I couldn't drive a car, so I couldn't date. And then when I did first start dating, I still didn't have a driver's license, so I had to go pick her up and take the bus. And that sure wasn't cool. And so a lot of regrets that way, but it worked out. It worked. I caught up, I guess, as much as I could. But if I had it to do over, I certainly, would try to match my intellectual and school progress with my biological progress, social progress. I've made some mistakes. I've made some less than desirable choices. I can't think of any particularly significant ones. I've tried to do most things right. And I believe that some of the moves that I made at the time I moved them turned out to serve very well career-wise. I heard somebody say one time that a lot of people are afraid to grab the brass ring, but when you really stop to think about it, there are very few people that even realize that the brass ring is in front of them when it does come around, let alone decide whether to grab it or not. And so I've been fortunate, I think, and a couple of times I've been able to see the ring coming and I grabbed it. But I'm sure there were more that I might not even been aware of, and as we all are. But I think I've done fairly well. I'm satisfied. I never wanted to be the wealthiest man in the world, or own the most real estate, or have the biggest house in the block, or that. I just and as I get older, I realize that my goals are certainly different today than they were when I started out.
How so?
Well, when I started out, it was more so the money and the job, and I thought, that would make everything right, everything better. And, today it has nothing to do with any of those things. It's just, I hope this will be a better place for me having been here, but, when it gets down to details on how did I leave my mark, you'll have to ask my kids how I did there. So we'll see.